What's good? It's your boy Killer Kevin OG back with another video. You already know I don't do intros, but ready to do so. It's time to try something new. And today I am here with
Limitless Solos. Y'all boys already know.
And today we about to be reacting to why you wouldn't last 24 hours in the dark ages. First of all, I'm surviving. Second of all, I'm surviving. Third of all, I'm surviving.
First of all, I'm probably not surviving, and at a realistic standpoint, he's probably not surviving either.
To be honest, I'll probably be one of the rollies.
I would probably be one of the first bloods. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely couldn't. I've been hearing some things that they've been getting tortured for like robbing, lying, and I'm not gonna lie. Lying is just people can't live without lying. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody lies. You know, you lie, I lie, you lie. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
so
lie,
like,
but I'd be so.
You just lied.
No.
See, he just lied.
To be honest, y'all, ever since 2025 started, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my
really,
word.
it was really 2024. In 2024, I did lie here and there when I had to, but in 2025, I really been like thinking about it. I just been like telling, like I've been like avoiding lying. Like I haven't been lying and all that stuff. Like I just been like, I don't see the point in lying.
So,
it doesn't help.
So ever since 2025 started, January 1st, you haven't said a single lie.
I don't know. I can't.
Oh, now he doesn't know. Now he doesn't. All of a sudden, he doesn't know.
I can't think of a lie I've told.
All of a sudden, man.
I can't think of a lie I told. I don't think I've intentionally lied this whole year.
Oh, you lied.
I don't think so.
You lie every day.
I don't lie.
And that's exactly why
but like,
you wouldn't last 24 hours in the dark ages. You
like
know
I
what
was
I'm
saying, shut your mouth. Like I was saying,
this track.
bro. So you could literally like somebody can have one of their little dresses on or whatever, be like, do it look good. If you lie and say yes, and they get made fun of, they gonna put you to death just for lying and embarrassing it.
What?
Like that stuff crazy.
What?
Bro.
See? Oh no, bro.
Bro, I feel like I'd be one of them nice rulers, bro. I'd be one of them nice rulers. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like I would be strict when I need to be, but people would also the people would mess with me. Like I wouldn't be one of them ones like you'll put to death and all that stuff, bro. Like no, bro. Like no, bro. I would not be doing that. I know, bro. I know. 4 minutes in the video, we still haven't pressed play. But like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Give me suggestions of what y'all trying to do and what y'all trying to see. You feel me? Just let me know. I actually read y'all comments.
People look at the Middle Ages through romantic eyes. They think about armoured knights on lumbering steeds, beautiful damsels in pointy hats, dragons, chivalry, and courtly love.
Bro, sorry for pausing, but y'all gotta realize something, bro. Back in the day, bro, they used to call this fine shit.
Yeah, they did. They did do that, man. I mean, they did not. I mean,
it's crazy, bro. Like, as time goes on, like, everything really develops. Like, people start going. That's when people started, you know, later, the makeup, haircuts was invented and stuff like that. And,
yeah,
like,
the clippers.
You know, yep, the clippers, bro. Man.
They really got swords, shields, and running on horses, man. I wouldn't be able to do this back in the day, man. Come on now.
They was really planning on start. Like, they was playing from the beginning, bro.
They was.
They was playing on the early month, the beta.
Bro, they're playing the tutorial. Like, what?
Bro, they was playing on the beta.
They was.
It's crazy. This the one instance where the tutorial is actually harder than the actual thing.
Yeah, man.
Because if this the tutorial, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, we got it easy compared to this.
That is true.
Damsels in pointy hats, dragons, chivalry, and courtly love. Nothing could be further from the truth. For most people, the Middle Ages were dirty, difficult, and really quite dangerous. Let's find out now why it was unlikely that you could stay alive and prosper, and why you were likely to die quite quickly during that time.
They have to walk 3 hours.
Welcome to Medieval Madness.
3 hours? Oh no, man. I'm not walking 3 hours to go nowhere.
They have to ride the camel.
Like, come on now.
Communication, or the lack of it. Let's just suppose you suddenly arrived in medieval England, that there was some sort of time slip and now you were stranded in the middle of the 14th century. The first thing you would realize is that you wouldn't understand a damn thing anybody was saying. The ordinary people spoke Middle English, the posh people spoke French, and the clergy spoke Church Latin. Speaking only modern English, you might be able to understand the odd word.
These are the type of people to eliminate me because I spoke English. So that alone would get me destroyed.
Well, the wrong
But
English.
unintelligible
They talk a type of English, but not regular English.
See,
Some of them spoke French, and then they say like mid English. I don't know what that is.
and I talk regular English.
I know they say that where out there, where out there.
Yeah,
thou,
since I
and
don't
all
talk
that.
like that, they probably gonna try to unalive me. So
conversation with anybody is impossible at this point.
I'm going to show you guys
What
how
the-
my style went from
Bro,
this
stop playing
to
with me, fam.
this.
Stop
All I had to do was
playing
fill out a
with me,
style
bro.
quiz. It asked
Bro, this dude said to me something I'm never gonna do.
yeah,
Like, what is this, bro?
Come
Like,
on.
should I let him
me
get his
different
money?
things like my fit preference.
I
No.
said
I can't, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You getting enough money off
A
this, bro.
woman's worth.
Somebody watching that.
So now supposing you had picked up a little bit of the language, but you were unlucky enough to be a woman, then you would know all about hardship. Because of the importance placed on biblical text, medieval women were usually regarded as morally weak, meaning they were oppressed and treated as subservient. In particular, the writings of St. Paul highlighted men's authority over women and their need to stay silent in church and under the control of their husbands. For the peasant
This
woman,
is
work was
crazy.
gendered and she was responsible for the household chores. Not only spinning, brewing, cooking, weaving, and taking care of livestock and children, but also sharing the labor of the farm and fieldwork with the men. Women were expected to marry or
I don't know how the women did it, bro. To be honest, like, we would have had a hard time back then. I don't know. The women have it even worse back then.
yeah.
They weren't respected. They was used. They had to do all the chores and stuff like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I know myself. I don't like chores. So,
I mean, who does, man? I don't think anybody likes doing chores.
but
so,
having
like,
to do your chores and somebody else's, like, they really have to do their chores, the church chores, their husband chores, everything. Like, bro, oh my gosh. But I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I think it's true. Bro, you know, like, 12-year-old kids, 12-year-old boys and stuff was getting treated better than the adult women.
Dang.
They
That's
could
actually crazy to think about. I didn't even think about it like that.
Because,
but-
like, some of them were kings and stuff. Like, it's just
become a
crazy.
nun. It is the first option that awaited the majority of women. Marriage meant pregnancy, and that meant childbirth. There was no modern pain relief or sterile hospital setting.
Ooh.
Complications that we now
Having
consider
kids,
to be
no.
inconsequential could prove fatal for the medieval mother and
Oh
child.
my word.
Having money and status didn't guarantee a safe birth, and a caesarean section was only performed if the mother was dying or already dead. In
Dang,
1420s Florence, for example, 1 in 5 women died during labor. Death during
That's a
childbirth
lie.
was so prevalent that women were urged to write out a last will and testament long before giving birth, which kind of takes the shine off what should have been a joyous event.
That's actually kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie.
So they was writing a death
Early
letter
life, early
just in
death.
case.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Today we
Early
consider
life,
the
early
death of a
death.
child to be rare or unexpected, but if you were born in the Middle Ages you would be lucky to make it even past your 5th birthday, as the child mortality rate was so high, and 1/3 of children died before that age in medieval England.
That is
And
crazy.
the dangers would start whilst you were still in the womb. Unaware of the risks of alcohol fetal syndrome, medieval women would have been blissfully knocking back huge quantities of ale or wine, or both throughout their pregnancies.
Bro.
And don't
Oh, they
get
didn't
me
know
started
better
on
back
their
then.
nutrition. The death of a child is one of the most awful tragedies that anyone can imagine.
That's
in
true.
medieval Europe, the mortality rate was thought to lie somewhere between 20 to 30% dying under the age of 7, depending on the year.
God dang.
That's children
man.
dying from incidents during birth, accidents, or because of war or famine and disease.
So they put that
Deadly
on.
illnesses included whooping cough, measles, influenza, and stomach infections, sicknesses that can ease.
I ain't gonna lie, I bet this was dripping the 1500s.
Yeah, it
and
was.
stuff.
They
This was
definitely-
drilled.
He was probably meant to put that on.
He was
Back in the.
bro. He
the
looked like he
medieval
know he got it
times.
on.
Back in year 2. So,
He looked like I know all the kids was asking where he got that from.
yeah, they probably was.
Like, oh my.
I wonder where he got that from. Actually,
I know
Like,
he was not allowed to work in this.
I wonder what brand that is.
See, he looked like he didn't even have to wear. He looked like he was part of the royal family.
Yeah,
They look like royals.
They probably are. They probably like VIPs.
Bro, imagine how much gold this costed. This necklace costed.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie.
They probably had to trade all their grapes, bananas.
I didn't even see their dog on the bottom.
Oh my, they
That's
even got a
crazy.
dog.
They
I know
even
this
got
was a
a
luxury
dog.
back then.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, bro. This is crazy.
It is, man. I'm
She not
gonna-
even old enough to remember this yet, and she got the drip on.
She do.
Like, this is
the
crazy.
dress. That's probably what they would wear at prom back in the day.
Oh my gosh,
Come on
bro.
now.
Easily be
It
treated
probably took
today.
people 10 jobs
And
to
the
get
grief
that
was
back
the
then.
same for parents living thousands of miles away. In medieval Japan, 48% of the population died as children. 48% is practically 1 in every 2 children dying. Who are you calling a peasant? The problem with living in the Middle Ages was that 85% of the population were serfs, so you would have been more likely to be part of that group than not. Tied to the lord and his land, not only would you have to grow food to sustain yourself and your family, but you would also have to make sure that there was enough to pay the lord his due too. You couldn't leave the land without your lord's permission or even get married. You may as well have been a slave.
Gotta get married, boy.
You would have been always reliant on the weather. Too much rain or not enough could be a catastrophe and cause the failure of crops, which led to malnutrition and, in the worst
They
case,
really have to rely on the rain in order for them to stop doing that type of stuff. Like,
Bro, they used to pray for that rain, probably.
that is crazy, bro. Oh my god.
I couldn't imagine that, bro. Like, having to wait for the rain to finally be able to get a break.
That's kind of like sometimes, like back in the day when I was in high school and we better take a test, and I was sorry, but I had to pray that it was a sub. I'm not gonna cap. Did not want to take that test.
Bro, from what they make this sound like, bro, peasants is pretty much like slaves, but they get a little bit of change. They get a little bit of money. A little bit. They get money so low to the point where it's not even livable.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy. Oh my.
it's unfortunate.
cases, starvation. Malnutrition meant a weakened immune system, and that led to an upturn in diseases like dysentery, typhus, and smallpox.
Bro,
Food, when it was
women
available,
used to have beards back in the day. Like, what the
Bro,
heck?
said
Am I tripping?
bigs. What you talking about, bro?
consisted of dysentery, typhus,
Bro,
and
aren't these women? Like,
These are men. He think they women. Those are men. You know they all had to.
Food, when it was
they
available,
need to get better at drawing.
Bro. They need to get better at
consisted
drawing.
of coarse bread made with barley, oats, rye,
that
or
looks
millet,
good.
and a thin stew known as pottage.
I love bread.
Medieval Europe was teeming with wild game like
Yeah,
rabbit,
dude.
hare, deer, and boar, but these were for the nobility to hunt, not for the lower classes, and the penalty for poaching was usually
You
pretty
clapping like he
harsh.
didn't get. Like,
Clothing wasn't the comfiest, being made from itchy wool. Houses weren't exactly palatial
What
either. Most had just
Bro, this look like what the big bad wolf blew down, bro.
like,
Like, what is this, bro?
Dang, man, I haven't heard about that since 2000.
This house made out of hay? Like, come on, bro.
That's crazy.
Like,
Bro, I
what
said
is it?
hey.
Bro,
I was,
put-
I
bro,
was
put
mad
some-
it made out of straw.
They put stick together.
Sticks
Like,
in-
what is this?
like what? Oh, the wind gonna blow it.
But they put a little bit of like, this is crazy, bro.
A little
they don't-
bit.
They didn't even have floor back then.
A li-
This the ground.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that. All house. Like, come
Bro,
on.
they
now,
was
bro.
sleeping. They was sleeping with the ants.
Why do they got a spear? Oh, no, they got a whole. I mean,
Dang,
a scythe.
They even
I
got
mean, a
treasure
scythe. They got a
chests and
whole
stuff.
scythe.
They got the Fortnite chest.
I'm about to say this kind of look like Fatal Fields a little bit.
This
I'm
do
not
look
gonna
like
cap.
Fatal. Maybe Anarchy.
Where we landing at? Like, come on now.
Bro, they even got the little thing up there in the little barn.
They do, bro, and they got
Bro.
the chest. Oh,
Oh
my
my-
goodness.
yeah,
they,
they-
even got the animals.
Bro, Fortnite, you
Dang.
not slick, bro.
Anarchy.
Fortnite, you not slick. We
one
see where you
room
got
or
it
two
from.
rooms with no chimney and perhaps 1 or 2 small windows. They were dark, smoky, smelly, and unsanitary because they were often shared with animals, especially in the winter when conditions outdoors were harsh. With no central heating, lighting, or running water, is it any wonder that medieval lives were so short?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he
The
was trying to
average
hit
life
him.
expectancy for most men in the 140 years between 1330
Bro,
Bro, what are they dancing? Like, what are
this
they?
drawing from back then is crazy. Like,
What is that?
I ain't gonna lie, they was confusing me. For one, first I thought this was his body. Then I realized this was his body. He just playing. This the instrument he playing. Like, bro, what is this? Where's her hand going?
It looks like they're playing Team Rumble.
Bro, I don't know what this is.
They kissing in the back.
What the? She look like she don't even want to be kissing him for real.
She not, bro. Why are they kissing with their eyes open?
And she in his lap.
But these are crazy
And
drawings.
then, bro, was they drawing this back in the day? Like, this is crazy.
It's no.
They having a fight back there or something?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's too much going on in this picture.
It is a lot going.
I
This
don't know.
dude, he got an angry face while he dancing, and he got a spoon in his head.
Maybe this is a medieval times college party.
He think this college.
Because, you know, like, people are drinking right
Bro.
there. People are kissing, dancing.
Bro,
It looks like a party to
I'm
me.
not gonna lie. If they in college, I'm in elementary.
That's security, bro. That's why he got a sword. or
Honestly,
whatever.
if they in college, I'm still in my mom's stomach, bro. Like this right here is
Oh,
crazy,
my
bro.
word.
Like, I'm still in the womb, bro. Like, it's
30
no
and
way.
1479 was just 24 years. Women came out better with an average of 33 years. But
Okay, so the average
still
is 24 and
not
33.
great.
That was a long life for them.
That was. Oh my god, man. Just breathe. I can't breathe if you keep showing me ads. Like what?
It's crazy how we got our ages we want to go to. Like we have ideal ages. It's like we want to at least make it here. Theirs was literally like 24, 33. They like,
Yeah.
I'll be happy if I make it to 24. You gotta think, but they was having kids at like 12 and stuff like that. So by the time they was like in their 20s, they was probably having like their first grandkid.
Yeah. I
Like
can
it's
see that.
crazy, bro. Like they lived a whole life at 24.
The justice system. Medieval crime and their punishments
Oh.
were really different from today as well, because the church controlled
Punishments
just
was
about
crazy.
every aspect of life,
Like-
from what
like
you
what
wore
Thanos
to
said.
what you could eat and when.
my, everything's
So no
balanced.
nipping out to McDonald's in your long pointy shoes on a Sunday morning for your
McDonald's!
breakfast. If
I
you
could
were the
go for some
victim of a
McDonald's
crime,
breakfast.
there were no police. You just have to scream
Close your
loudly
mouth.
to
Right, I
raise a
can
hue and a
smell it.
cry and hope for the best. For serious crimes, death was the punishment, and these didn't just include murder
Is that a
or
midget?
treason.
Bro, that looks like a kid. If these are kids, why are kids blindfolded? What could they possibly have done to make them this mad?
That's what I'm saying. Like you take a lollipop and that's what you get.
You say one lie and now it's a death penalty?
Actually, back then they didn't have lollipops. They probably was licking on hay with a little sugar, sugar on it.
God, this guy is funny. This guy has
Forgery,
jokes.
arson, receiving stolen goods, robbery, and burglary were all
They probably were,
punishable
though.
by hanging. In fact, stealing anything worth over 12 pence, the equivalent of about 3 weeks' wages, meant a trip to the gibbet. Early
The
in the
dungeon?
period, trial by ordeal
gonna-
was
now-
a thing.
Stealing, okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty much equivalent to stealing 3 paychecks. If you stealing the worth of 3 paychecks in this time, you asking for it.
Yeah,
It's no way you this bold.
yeah. I can see that.
Like if they get you just for bro. If they get you just for stealing the littlest thing, what make you think you could get away with stealing 3 paychecks worth?
You probably, back in the day, since this is the punishment and this is how it is, if you cheated on your significant other back in the day, you probably would be looking at, this, the
Well,
hand, the rope.
knowing how they are, men, they was probably allowed to do all that.
It was
Women,
probably the
when they-
girls.
Yeah, girls, if they cheated, bro, they husband probably could have been cheating this whole time. Everybody bragging about it. Them same people probably would take the wife off them out as soon as she do something.
I can see that.
Even if she look at a guy run away or the guy flirting with her.
Oh my, see, but this is exactly why I wouldn't be able to survive back then, bro.
I wouldn't either.
At all.
Here, the guilt or innocence of the accused was determined by subjecting the suspect to a painful and often deadly experience,
even know
such as
about black
walking over
people
red-hot
yet.
coals
Oh
or plunging
my.
a hand into boiling water or oil. If you were innocent, God would perform a miracle and save you. Petty crimes like being in debt, gambling, playing football, or using abusive language in the street were also dealt with quite harshly,
Huh?
with punishments
Wait,
ranging
wait,
from
wait,
public
wait.
humiliation
What? Wait.
Wait, keep it going.
Yeah, keep it
in
going.
the stocks or pillory to branding or imprisonment. Many people died in
Prison?
prison because of the unsanitary conditions and lack of decent food. Most
What?
crime was linked to theft because of poverty, so there was a lot of it about.
Wait, did they go to jail for playing football?
I was just about to say that. So you couldn't even play we couldn't even throw a ball without getting the dungeon.
Bro,
We can't even shoot hoops without getting the electric chair.
I'm
Like,
so for real,
come on
bro.
now, bro.
Who making these rules, bro?
I'm telling you, bro.
Like, bro, whoever's making these rules, he must have been having fun torturing and taking people off the map, bro.
Who is in charge? Somebody just woke up and said they in charge and started doing this.
War, what it isn't good for. The list of wars throughout the world during the 1,000-year period of the
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Art has really evolved. What
Yeah.
is this?
I don't know. Yo. I don't know what that is, but art has definitely evolved, bro. This picture is
Crazy thing is, bro, this was probably one of the biggest artists of their time.
back
making
in
this.
back in year 5. They
Somebody
were.
probably was paying like 500 gold for this or something.
I could see that, like 5 emerald. or
Ages
something.
is insane. In total, there were over 370 wars across many empires, with the last one, the Italian War, finishing in 1504. Many were fought to see which incompetent was going to sit on the throne next as king or queen, and
Yeah,
others
that
were
must be the
contested for
Grand
what were
Master.
thought to be noble reasons, such
That
as
was
the
the king.
Crusades. But then, as it is today, it was the common people who were left to pay the ultimate price.
What?
As a serf, and because of the European feudal system, if you lived in the kingdom of one of 2 rich people who wanted to have a go at each other, then you would be obligated to fight. Peasants had to supply military service to their liege lord on a regular basis. Men were only sent away for short periods of time, so if you were lucky enough not to die in the first 40 days, you could return home. This was because if everyone went off to war at the same time, then there would be no one to take care of the nobles. No labor meant no crops and no money for all the wealthy people to spend on silly wars.
It's called get your own dishes.
It is.
Go grab your own food.
But you know they didn't, bro. It was different back in the day. As you can see, they got swords to their throats and their chests.
They losing wars.
Some long
They literally
swords.
losing wars just so somebody could be there to serve the rich.
That's crazy.
They didn't want to send people to war, too many people to war, so they could still have their trusty servants.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Dang.
It's never that serious, bro. It's never that, bro. Making your own cereal never that serious, bro. And stuff back then wasn't even that hard to make, probably, bro.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Wait. They had way less resources. Let me take that back. They was probably eating stuff, bro. For some people, grass was probably a good meal.
Grass is grass is actually insane, bro. You probably would not, bro. Probably like worms or something, bro. Like they back in the day, they probably had worms coming out them apples and stuff. Like
They probably did, and when they caught a worm in their apple, that was probably a good day for them.
right.
That
Like,
was double lunch.
ooh, that's nasty.
They had something for later dessert.
Yo.
Was
I'll
a
say
medieval
this for later.
military that was for
A
the
little
most
chocolate
part
on the side.
disorganized, resulting in a lot of dead people. And the noblemen didn't evade death either. Around 30% of them died in one skirmish or another. As for the commoners, no one really knows the victim numbers. They were thought to be so insignificant that nobody ever kept a tally. We can only estimate the casualties from medieval wars, both soldiers and the innocent bystanders caught up in the conflict. During the First Crusade at the Siege of Jerusalem, 90,000 people died.
Dang.
In all, during the Crusade
Are you
years from
serious?
1095
It
until the
is.
end of the 13th century, there were between 1 to 3 million deaths. The Hundred Years' War, fought between 1337 and 1453, produced between 2 and 3.5 million fatalities. And in Asia, the Mongol invasions and conquests that took place during the 13th and 14th centuries ended with the loss of between 30 and 40 million lives.
Dang.
It really wasn't a good time to be a soldier or a peasant.
Yo.
All you gotta do is
How many,
go.
bro? Like how
Oh,
many?
you've never used samples like
I haven't.
I haven't either. Come on now.
Death was so coming back then. I don't think they got
Poison.
sad from. I don't think they got sad from death, but I don't think people dying and stuff really. I don't think they cared about this back then.
You know what? I kind of was thinking like maybe people like don't really care.
Poison.
That's what I'm saying.
Cause it's so common.
Let's
Life
suppose
could have
that
been
you
that
happen to be
valuable
rich
back
during
then.
the Middle Ages and able to afford
At
the
all.
finer things in life. Would that have made your chances of survival better? You would definitely have eaten better than the peasants with their bread and pottage. For you, the table would be laden with meats such as veal, venison, or peacock in rich cream sauces, followed by sugar desserts
No
and fine
burgers?
wine.
No chicken.
You would eat your gourmet food from beautifully glazed plates and drink
What
from
the? What is this,
This is where the kings and kings go,
bro?
and they get special things.
Why is there still a face on this?
I bet it do.
That's
Look,
the eyes,
that actually
the
looks like
nose,
that looks
the
like an
ears.
animal, a squirrel. They call this gourmet food. What the heck? Oh,
Bro, they
serving-
didn't even. Bro, they didn't even
serving
cut the
animal
head off.
guts. The heck?
Bro, this is actually crazy. They did not cut the head off.
They didn't.
They got their bread ready to eat with it.
They took things too literal back then.
They barely, bro. They didn't get rid of any of the body. This is a full body. This the top.
The eyes
this
still
the bottom
there.
half.
The teeth probably still in there.
Man, oh no, this is not gourmet.
decorated
poison.
cups. The problem was that the glazing was made from lead oxide. Yes, it looked lovely and it was practical for cleaning, making it very popular among those who were privileged enough to be able to afford it. But when salty or acidic food was served on glazed plates or kept in glazed pots, it caused the coating to dissolve and the lead was absorbed into the food.
What?
Lead is a poisonous heavy metal which collects in the human body over time. Acute poisoning can attack the nervous system and cause headaches, abdominal pain,
why you
and
don't eat your
infertility.
pencils.
Chronic poisoning may lead to seizures, coma, and death.
Imagine doing
Because
that.
children are still growing, the effects on them can be devastating and affect their ability to learn. Medieval skeletons from cemeteries in more affluent urban areas of Germany and Denmark have shown that people had lead levels well above normal.
Dang.
Lead was also present in stained glass windows, coins, and on roof tiles. Rainwater was often collected from roofs for drinking, and this could have been another source.
You heard that right,
Bro, rainwater was collected for drinking.
bro? From the gut, bro. Yo, back in the day, just take me out. I'm not
Bro,
going cat, man.
bro, when it rained, that mean the peasants saw this, and this was gold for them. Like,
Yeah, I might
they had
just.
some water, some fresh water, and stuff to drink. They was probably happy seeing this.
They was. 100%.
It's crazy, bro. That means, bro, things that people had in their cleaning supplies was in the food and they was consuming that.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's like us taking one of the ingredients that's in like
Even
some Fabuloso or something and eating that in our food.
Even the rich people were struggling. They didn't know it though.
You see why we need
Bread was the main food
scientists
staple
and
for the
doctors and all that.
medievals. Often the rye used to make
Medicine.
bread would become infected
Yeah.
with a fungus called Claviceps purpurea.
Oh my.
This caused an infection in humans which was called St. Anthony's fire. There were many outbreaks throughout the Middle Ages which caused tens of thousands of people to die and millions more to become sick. What we now know as ergot poisoning caused hallucinations, muscle
not gonna
cramps,
lie.
nausea, insomnia.
If COVID happened back then, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The whole population might have got white.
I don't know, bro, because you do gotta keep in realization that the Black Plague happened and that was worse than COVID. So like, oh my
But
gosh.
you see how many people that took out.
Oh
They-
my
bro,
gosh.
What you gotta think about is they bodies. Us, bro. All of us in this world, we got shots when we were born as babies.
We
and
did.
Stuff to
We
avoid.
did.
Back then, they didn't have this stuff, so little diseases for them was even worse. Like
Well, you think the common cold took them out?
the common cold did take them out at one point. I know because
That's
I
crazy.
think people like George Washington. I don't remember, but certain people back then in his days and all that, they actually did. The common cold took a lot of them out because they didn't have proper medicine and medication in their bodies
Yeah.
to fight it. A flu would have really took, bro.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
the
remember.
flu would have.
The flu already took out a lot of people one time. The Spanish flu and all that stuff,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh man, if COVID happened back in the day and they ain't get nothing developed, yeah, it probably would have been.
COVID in
I
these days,
I wonder how they got rid of the plague.
they had to start coming up with different. Bro, you got to think about when that stuff happened, bro. At least they was a little more advanced. They was way more advanced when the plague happened than these days.
Yeah.
So if these days, bro, if things like the black plague, all that stuff happened, bro.
Oh man.
Like this is crazy, bro.
This is crazy. I'm not gonna cap.
and sores.
They don't have
In
medicine.
extreme cases, when left untreated, the blood flow to an infected person's hands and feet is restricted,
They had
causing
a hard
burning
time getting
pains.
through
Gangrene can set in, and fingers, toes,
childbirth.
hands, and feet can turn black and drop off. Some historians believe it is ergot poisoning that is responsible for some of the dancing epidemics that occurred between the 14th and 17th centuries. These epidemics involved groups of people, sometimes thousands at a time, dancing erratically in the streets until they collapsed from exhaustion and/or injury. Thank you for watching this episode of Medieval Madness. Please subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you next week for another one. Have a great week. Cheers.
Dang.
Well, guys, that was why you wouldn't last 24 hours in the Dark Ages, and that was definitely a crazy video, and I'm not too surprised by the things I heard, because you kind of expect this stuff once you once you've been in a place where you had a history class or anything like that before. So this stuff really not that surprising, but it is just crazy to hear like the death. Like it's so crazy to think these are really the Dark Ages, because it's like hard to have any information on this stuff.
So, bro, after the video, do you still think you can last 24 hours in the Dark Ages?
It's me, so of course I can. But a lot of people wouldn't be able to.
Oh my goodness, this guy right here, man. This guy.
But I'm here with
Limitless Solos, y'all already know.
Killer Ken OG. You already know it. We out.